Well, thank you very much, dear friends, to be here in this space of consultation and conversations and reflections together around this topic that has put us all together. And amazingly, we've been keep learning, even right after we launch our book in this matter. We'll be keeping collecting information, and the ideas that we're going to share a story with you, how did this all started, and the passion that we have for this project that has been for us now a very relevant mission in life. Almost we're trying to create this movement because we thought and we identified that this topic is still very relevant and for youth and for professionals, for everybody. So we'll love to share our story, our project with you, and then get back some feedback right after, and then also hopefully we can all learn something today. So thank you very much for being here today.
And I guess I want to just share my welcome as well. This is a project that brought Mónica and I together. It united us. It's given us a vision probably for the next 20 or 25 years, if God allows us to be on this planet. It's a vision that we want to really work toward because we believe that it impacts the world in a very positive way. And we have both grown tremendously through writing this book and trying to articulate some of the understanding that we've gained from our experience. So a big part of what we're going to share today with you guys is a bunch of stories that talk a little bit about our journey and talk about the content of this book, Two Wings of Leadership, Balancing Feminine and Masculine Power in Life and Organizations. And we expect to engage you guys during the program in sort of a dialogue that you guys help us explore. And then hopefully that dialogue will have at the end a little call to action that will be meaningful to each one of you. So Moni, do you want to start with an introduction of yourself and who you are?
Sure. Thank you, Charles. My name is Mónica Martínez Vargas. Currently, I'm living in Chile, but I used to live in the States for 10 years in Colorado. So for me, USA is my second home. And I studied chemical engineer, and then I get a degree in an MBA in the States with the international backgrounds. And today I feel like I'm a human being learning to be better every day. So we've been in corporate, we've been in the consulting world together with Charles, and also separated. And then I'm very happy to be here, and I love the spaces to learn from others and also bring our message from the book that we will explore today together.
Okay. So like Mónica, I too happen to be an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I have a master's degree in education. And that is a combination that has allowed me to work in very technical fields, but also work in organizational and human development. And so probably for the last 30 years, probably the last 25 years, I've worked in organizational and human development. And I've had the experience of being able to see many organizations and work for two icons of American industry, Procter & Gamble and Ford Motor Company, and had a chance to see how leadership is practiced in the corporate world, and had long felt that there were many opportunities within the corporate world to have a greater balance. A balance between not only the doing part of business, but a balance between the being part of business, or how to create a culture and environment that sustains people and helps them flourish. So this is part of what brings me to be speaking here today. I'm also a father. I have 3 children. Just like Mónica has 3 children. There's a lot of things that brought us together when we met each other. So we're going to start out our story, talking a little bit about how we came together, and then share some pictures with you about that journey. And the pictures will talk about how the book came about, and then we'll get into some of the exercises that we want your help in realizing. So let me share my screen here. This entire concept is called the two wings of leadership. And since Monica and I come from the corporate environment, we structured this presentation to eventually talk about how we take this into organizational environments. You are looking at some pictures of a little community called Acuto, Italy. And this is where Monica and I actually first met in October of 2024. We were both participating in a conference, a special conference on community building. And people had told us both that, boy, Charles, you need to meet Monica. And people had been telling Monica, you need to meet Charles. And we were both excited to meet each other for the first time at this conference. And it's a very rare thing that two people can meet each other from out of nowhere at a conference and then hit it off together so well that we had conversations about our experience in the corporate world. Monica and I both happen to be members of the Baha'i faith, but she lives in Chile, I live in Brazil. We talked about some of the principles that united us. And one of those principles that united us was that of the equality of women and men and how important that balance is for the world. But we also started talking about our corporate experience and the fact that I had worked for these large corporations. I had also worked as a consultant for many other industries. And one of the things that I perceived in my experience is that I was always in a world that was male dominated, and that world seemed to value masculine qualities a whole lot more than feminine qualities. And when I talk about masculine qualities, I don't mean that there are qualities that are just manifested by men. Masculine qualities can be manifested by women, just as feminine qualities can be manifested by men. But the environment as a whole oftentimes had a focus on the doing, the results, the strategy, things that are traditionally associated with men. And so Monica and I got to talking about that experience, and she working in the mining industry and very male dominated fields, she also had a very similar experience. And when we started talking and putting that experience together, we said, wow, we've got to write a book about this. Now, the funny thing is that whenever people, many times people say to you, let's do lunch or let's do something together. And many times people actually don't mean it. But Monica and I actually meant it. And when we started coming together to figure out how to write that book, I decided to invite her to help me with a project that I was working on. It was a sort of corporate integration of a Brazilian, American, and Japanese company. And we were doing some leadership training for about 160 middle level managers. And I invited Monica to come and help me with that training. And it was an amazing dance that we were able to do together, because all the while that I've worked in corporate America and in corporations, I've always felt like there's been an imbalance between the masculine and the feminine energy. And in this particular occasion, Monica and I were working together as these two wings, the masculine and the feminine. And it was like I didn't have to think about the part that was missing. I just had to turn to Monica when whatever I didn't bring, she brought, whatever she didn't bring, I brought. But it was a beautiful dance and a beautiful balance. And we realized that there was something very special that we wanted to expand upon. And so Monica is a great person in terms of creating vision. And she said to me, Charles, we need to we need to create a vision of how to get our experience out into the world so that other people can relate to it and other people can benefit from it. And so Monica, please take over and tell us a little bit about this vision.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks, Charles. Amazingly enough, was as Charles was saying and mentioning, we were just flowing. We were flowing. It means to be that something divine put us together with the biggest purpose that we didn't even understood back then. But when we start working, and then we were able to facilitate spaces together, as Charles said, was a nice dance, which we also learned a lot, and we tell the stories as well in the book. We were able to, I invite him to dream and dream very high. So, after the sessions, we were working, and then because I normally saw in these big projects for mining or engineering, we were burning out people most of the time by planning and implementing. But the part that we were missing, sometimes we need to force ourselves, and not even just in projects, in our own life. It's like dream high and also celebrate. And that's more like the feminine side, dreaming and celebrating. Because when we just plan and implement, we burn ourselves, we burn our families and teams. So it's not the balance that we are proposing here. And then we start dreaming high, and it was amazing because even just that dream, we were so, remember, Charles, that we wrote it together separately first, and it was so in synchrony. It was very aligned. And then it was very easy for us to write our biggest, vision together. And that kept us the momentum. And then we were reviewing later, say, what relevant is for us, for human beings, have these dreams and very clear, and make it, write it down and review this dream, because it gives you the direction, it gives you the power that you need to accomplish your goals in life. And that's how we started writing our book. And then just like 9 months later, our book was ready, because we were very dedicated couple of engineers writing this.
Yeah, I think one of the things Monica shared is that our process as engineers have very sort of linear processes to get to an end result. And we were very disciplined every single month, writing the same chapter, each of us a version of it, and then coming together for like a design review to integrate and synthesize the best of each one's insights. And so we felt like we were doing the dance again in writing the book. And the essence of the book was inspired by this particular quote that comes from Abdul Baha. And Monica, do you want to read the quote?
Sure. The world of humanity has two wings. One is woman and the other man. Not until both wings are equally developed can the bird fly.
And so this is a wonderful analogy that actually helped inspire everything about the book, because it talks about the feminine energy and it talks about the masculine energy. And one of the things we realized is that there is power in the masculine and there is power in the feminine, and that we need to harness that power in a way that integrates both. And so this particular slide is one of the ways in which we want to simplify our message, because the problem that we identified in our book is the imbalance in society, and the fact that this concept of the two wings is inside every human being. Every human being, whether you're a man or a woman, you have the two wings inside of you. And we both have this masculine and feminine side, but oftentimes we let one side predominate and one side rule over. And so the simple message that we bring is leading with both wings, is trying to reach an understanding of the two wings that are inside of each of us, and leading with both wings in an integrated way in our lives, in our organizations, in our society. And the benefit or the payoff for society is really authentic impact and sustainable impact, because the metaphor and the analogy that we shared about the two wings from Abdu'l-Baha talks about the world of humanity being like this bird, and that this bird of humanity will not reach its highest heights until we achieve a greater balance in society. So that vision, and you guys have probably noticed that there's some little flags on some of these slides. The vision took us from Italy to Brazil to Chile now. This is the flag of Chile. And this is the city Monica lives in. We got a chance. We were invited to a special conference. Monica, do you want to talk a little bit about the conference?
Sure. We were able to launch our book in this EBBF encounter, which means ethical business building the future. And it was extremely relevant to us to be able to launch our book in this community. It was around 90 people coming from all different places in Latin America. And then we got interviewed by Daniel Turan, who is the leader in Madrid. And then we were able to tell a story, and then we were receiving such a great feedbacks from different professionals, from different persons, and then we were actually get energized by their stories, and people start like flying, moving their wings, making sense to them, the relevance of, balancing our virtues, our values, our energies, and not only just for the organizations or for groups, it's just even for ourselves. Our soul doesn't have any gender, and then as much as we are able to balance them, we are able to first integrate and be coherent with ourselves, and then start, moving in the direction that we would like to go. So that was a fantastic space for us to launch our book in Chile, and then later on you'll see that we got invited to other places that Charles will let us know.
So Monica mentioned this particular gentleman, Daniel Truran, who is the head of ethical business building the future in Europe. And so we got invited to present in Europe as well. And the conference in Chile was right at the base of the Andes mountain. There's this beautiful temple, Baha'i temple in the background. And we were blessed to be in the presence of a very sacred space, a very inspiring place. You can see the mountains in the background. It was very inspirational to all of us. And we got to do some other smaller event book launches. Monica, if I think you know most of these people because they were part of your network.
Yeah, we're also had the opportunity to relaunch again in Chile with different people coming from different fields, different spaces, and then we were able to launch the book and share with them different perspectives, different ideas, women and men. They lead different areas and industries here in Chile. So it was very empowered space that we were able to receive their feedback. We love the idea because in the book, I don't know if you've seen the book or read the book, but you'll be able to use the tools, diagnose yourself, how are you doing, and get some ideas and tools to balance them and see the benefits of this new approach of leading your life and then helping others to be balanced as well. So after that in Chile, we were receiving, as you told, a lot of people, many people bought the book from us, and they give us these beautiful reviews also in Amazon. And we were also got invited to different clients. ABB is one, a Switzerland company, and then they were celebrating this diversity day, and they invite all their clients and CEOs, women in their energy industry. And the feedback, again, it's amazing because you see young professionals and not so young professionals, and all of them share this relevant on bringing this balance. It is not balanced still, even if you take the numbers, at least here in Chile, in South America, no more than 10% of women are at the leadership positions. And then we're trying to understand why. We're trying to, position the women also in this more leadership positions. Maybe, Charles, would be nice that we can share who made the reviews of our book, because he inspires us as well, Augusto Lopez, as he did a very specific study about how relevant it is for the commerce and for the industries to bring women to more leadership positions. And then Augusto Lopez Claro, maybe you can tell him a little bit more about that.
Yes, Augusto Lopez Claros is the executive director of the World Governance Forum, and he's a very influential sort of UN type diplomat who has worked for many years trying to promote the advancement of women in all forms of society, because he recognizes that balance is critical to organizations and to governance. And so he actually wound up writing the foreword to our book, and he's been very instrumental in opening a lot of doors for us to have spaces to be able to talk and dialogue and bring this concept to the fore. And so it's interesting, Monica mentioned one of the companies, ABB, but she also was able to get into Accenture. Want to talk a little bit more about Accenture, Moni?
Sure, they were celebrating this Inclusion Day. Not only just people present, but Charles was also online, and other people from the region was present. And it's amazing when we just stop for reflections a little bit, and then we make these right questions, and then we are able to reflect together, to learn from each other. It's amazing the spaces that we open, and the deep and the meaningful conversations that we create, almost like telling us we need more of this. We need more time to pause in our lives, reflect together, and then hopefully move into some specific actions to develop ourselves, or to put this very nice topics on action. So we got invited over there, and also we got invited to the Academia Nacional de Estudios Políticos y Estratégicos. This is a very, an unusual space where the academy brings all the leaders from armies in Chile and South America. And we got invited because they thought the topic is very relevant and very, a lot of innovation in our proposal. So there we were having again these spaces with these leaders from all different armies, and Charles was present through the Zoom. And again, the feedback was thank you, and thanking us for creating these spaces of reflection and thinking about it. And specifically, in the armies, that women are not very common, but nowadays they are. So creating these spaces where Charles and myself separated thought it would be so necessary. Now we are at least being able to talk independently with the people that is at the audience, and they found that it's very relevant. Even for youth, because we were asking ourselves, do you think this, Charles, is like kind of obsolete for the youth, that maybe now they're like more integrated and they also more balance in their feminine and masculine in the corporate today? And we had the opportunity to talk with youth, and then they give us the feedback also that requires. Do you want to go ahead, Charlie?
So we also got a chance to go to the Netherlands and start promoting our book in a smaller scale. And we're going to finish up with the pictures in a minute, but we're just trying to take you on the journey that brought us here today. So when we got to the Netherlands, it was an opportunity to, on a smaller scale, this is some wonderful coffee and drinks that Monica and I were having at a local coffee shop. And the young couple who was at the coffee shop, when they heard about why we were there and the book we were promoting, they said, that book is all about us. They were the two business owners. They were a young couple who were the owners of this coffee shop, and they really fell in love with the message of the two wings and the balance required. And then being in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, we got a chance to go to the Van Gogh Museum and celebrate a little bit of that experience, wonderful artistic experience. Then other meetings in a smaller fashion, getting a chance to share the book and its message. And then finally, now we came to Greece just a couple months ago at a different ethical business building the future conference, and we got to present and share the ideas of the book and have people consult about it, give feedback, talk about opportunities that they saw for it as well. And so these are just a few images of our experience in Greece, and the receptivity was phenomenal. This is a couple from Portugal that we really got to know better at the conference. And then there were small workshops that we did where we put people to talk about the concepts and then we explored them together. And just to give you guys an idea of what eventually brought us to this particular spot. But these are just images of Greece and the conference. It was a truly, truly international experience. People from all over Europe, and people came from Asia as well, South America, the US. A really special conference. And here, Monica and I again getting a chance to be in a workshop together, a work group. Moni, you want to tell us a little bit about how the
Sure.
book got published?
Actually, this is, as I mentioned before and earlier, it's like this is very divine for us, because even though sometimes we were struggling with things or logistic or even resources, the angels came to our way and we were able to find our editor. She's from Italy. And not only that, but also the resources that help us to launch this book and print the book and being able to bring the book all around. So it's been something like bigger than us, of course, guided by God, of course, something that we couldn't stop. There was no things that could stop us in order to make this a reality. And then we were invited to Bangkok at a world seminar, and then also people was very excited about over there. Not only that, but this professional over there in Germany said, Monica, you should write another book, how collaboration helps to the ONGs to help and being able to survive in this global world. And so it's different spaces opening different places. Charlie, tell us about this picture.
Okay, and we're about to run out of the pictures and get into the actual part that we bring you guys in. But the last little story I wanted to share is this wonderful gentleman, 94 years old, lives in Jordan, and he is my father-in-law. He's a wonderful man, 94 years old, and he told me to bring 5 copies of the book because he had people pre-identified that he wanted to gift the book to. And so this is a special encouraging thing that a 94-year-old man from the Middle East saw the message of this book as being so relevant that he wanted to gift a copy to this young man who's a young scholar in Jordan. You won't believe that a young man with this face is only 22 years old, but he is a very knowledgeable young man, and he was a very special person to meet. And then this young lady, she's a special journalist in Amman, Jordan, and he wanted to gift her with a copy of the book because she's very influential in her journalism in the society. So these are just some of the experiences we had, and then my wife and I were able to go to England and be able to share the book with special people in England just about a month ago. And so, like Monica was saying, the book has sort of had its own life, and we're going to stop talking about the book because we're coming now to the community that we're trying to build that we hope that all of you will consider being a part of. If you believe the message of the book is relevant to the world and to society and to organizations, this has been a community that we've been slowly building online. And these are just some shots of some of the meetings that we've had online as we've approached different topics. And then this finally is a little flyer of the talk that we're giving today. So given that, let me just back up for 1 second and tell you guys the simple message of the book. The problem that we're addressing is the imbalance that we perceive in society and organizations. The message is leading with both wings and realizing that those two wings are inside every human being. And the unique aspect of our message is the integration of both. We are not here to compete men with women or women with men, but we're trying to realize the complementary nature of one another and the necessity of that integration for the balance of society to have an authentic impact and a sustainable impact on the world. And so, coming back to that metaphor, Monica and I, when we approach organizations, because we wrote this book so that organizations would have a guide to have tools to be able to deal with how to create a culture that values both the masculine and the feminine. And so one of the things we've seen in organizations is that most leaders are having to deal with the turbulence of this world that is very volatile, very uncertain, has a tremendous amount of complexity and ambiguity, and that there is a paradox always at play between the masculine part of doing and the feminine part of being. The paradox is always the pressure to deliver relentless results in organizations, but that paradox needs to deal with the need to nurture trust and safety in every environment and make that a sustainable environment where people thrive and don't burn out. And so we present the concept in terms of flight is impossible with only one wing. It doesn't matter how strong that one wing is, a bird with only one wing cannot fly. And the imbalance or the villain is the imbalance. And we've seen that historically organizations have prioritized the masculine, the results, the control, many times an over-reliance on one single wing. And the consequences are not positive for organizations. Most studies affirm that today. There are many studies that we cite in the book that affirm that the balance is very much needed to eliminate toxic cultures and the high culture of turnover that we're seeing in organizations. And so Monica and I have navigated these storms because we have the experience of 30, 35 years in the corporate world, and that's what brought us together. But what we've learned is that we don't have to choose between power and people. We must choose both. We must choose the balance. And the methodology of our book is rooted in neuroscience and experience, more than 25 years of global corporate experience, proven methodologies based on neuroscience and emotional intelligence, along with other theories that support our book. Theory U and the Losada model, we talk a lot about in our book. And the concept that we bring about is this integrative model, the synthesis and not a compromise. We define in our book that this concept of a masculine aspect of doing needs to be balanced with the feminine aspect of being. Organizations need not only accountability, strategic execution, and results, but they need psychological safety, the connection, and the resilience among people. And we call this the concept of integrated wholeness. I'm not going to get too technical about the presentation, but when we talk to corporations, we talk a lot about a phased approach to transformation that involves many different stages. and evolution. And so we have programs that go from 2 hours to longer sessions that have an accompaniment process. And we talk a lot about a process called unified consultation, which really focuses on helping people understand how to consult in a way that finds truth and builds unity. And this helps organizations develop a collective wisdom that helps them identify how to move forward in their environment. And we help organizations apply some very simple tools that help them identify the imbalance, whether they're focused much more on one side of the scale versus the other. And we often have a call to action with organizations to help them develop a discovery call, talk to them about the cost of remaining grounded and not connected. And we finally get people to a point of transformation where the transformation is not just about acquiring new skills, but it's fundamentally shifting the way we perceive leadership and the importance of a balanced leadership that involves both the masculine and the feminine energies. So, having said all that, Monica is going to take us through an initial exercise that we want to do just to do a check with you about how you perceive balance in your life. And Monica, we have a couple exercises that are going to be even more critical to get their feedback. So we want to make sure to give enough time for that. So how much time do you want to give for this?
We're gonna probably go for 10 minutes just to warm up and have this discussion and review. And then shall we do it like in couples or in groups?
I think maybe just in groups of two would be great.
Okay, then groups of two, then maybe we're gonna give 7 minutes that you're gonna have half of the time to respond and then half of the time to listen. What is the situation of the couple that you're gonna be sharing this information? So I'm gonna put the groups together right now. And also it's very relevant to mention that not only we've learned a lot through the process, not only in corporate, not only in teams, but also for ourselves. Charles and I, we've been helping each other to balance our energies, and it's been tremendously successful and impactful for us in our lives, in our families as well. So this is fantastic, the way that we can apply to different scenarios and different dimensions in our lives. We're gonna go let's see.
Moni, let me just check. You're gonna send us away for 7 minutes, and people are gonna meet somebody new that they might not know, and then they're gonna share with each other the answer to this question: how do they perceive the balance between the two wings in their lives? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And so I know some of you may be shy, but you're going to meet somebody who's already committed to this cause and to the Interfaith Awareness Week. So I guarantee you it's a friendly person.
Okay. So so in the 10 minutes or 7 minutes, you're gonna have half of the time to share, and then the half of the time to listen.
Okay, so on the screen, all you have to do is click on join whatever group you are going to be in.
Hi, everybody. How did it go? Somebody would like to share what were their comments and the views? Sand, I think you raised your
hand. Sandy. Yeah, I know Sandy. First of all, thank you both for your extraordinary work. It's part of the work that I'm doing too, focused on specifically women, but it's so important to bring those wings of the bird together. And we use that analogy to the Baha'u'llah quote, as well as that within ourselves. So hearing this from you is music to my ears. So I bow deeply to both of you, especially getting it, your inroads into the corporate world is so essential. What came from my meeting, I was so lucky to get both wings of the bird in one call in one room. So I had I don't know where Sandy and Armando went. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you guys are. So at any rate, my personal experience was I feel it in my body. I'm really aware of what I can tell when my throat is tightening up. I'm pushing too hard. I'm working against what's organic and authentic for me to be in that balance of that. I'm trying to be too strategic when what really is called for is more feminine approach to what I am doing and that sense of creativity and synthesizing conditions. And so I know I'm out of balance. The first signal for me is that. So having worked, it's a little easy for me to answer this question. Um, but and I won't speak for my friends here. Perhaps they'll unmute and share for themselves. But for me, it was a really great question that brought up more questions. Like, is it unreasonable not to be in both conditions? Well, of course, we're going to be more, I'm right now writing a book and I've got all these other things and I've got family coming over in an hour and I've got all the, so I'm calling up all that I've got right now. And I can't expect to, not call up what's necessary right now in the qualities of the divine masculine or the divine feminine to get what I need to get done in the moment. But I think awareness for me is essential.
Great.
Thank you.
Somebody else would like to share? Don't share with all the information, but just let us, how did you feel? Was it balance and balance? Who would like to share with us? Aaron, did you raise your hand or that was you just adjusting?
Yeah, sure. As far as the question was, how do these things manifest in our personal lives? And so we brought up the example of how we interact with our spouses, and how our different personalities mesh. One person is a dreamer, the other person is a practical planner, or one person is very emotional, the other person is very mathematical. And so we found that with time, there's a meshing of the two, an interrelationship that is developed. And doing so, you can really rise to the challenge of how to make progress. And different cultures have different expectations, so you have to fit yourself into the culture around you, even if you come from different places. But in working together, you can accomplish tremendous things. Not a lot of specifics, but that's the gist of it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
So, Moni, I'm just going to mention that of the 2 rounds that we still have to go, I think we're only going to be able to do one of them. And I suggest we do round 2 because I think that will be most impactful, if that's okay.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to put groups of 5 now, if you agree with that.
Fred had one quick comment. If you can get that in, Fred.
Yeah, and it is a quick comment, is that recognizing that when you have been socialized in one form or the other, so you've been socialized to be the feminine masculine qualities, but now when you need to learn to develop and apply some of the masculine qualities, in this case is when you need things, and we're talking about particularly with the women who have been socialized to be nurturers, but now have real needs that need to be addressed, and they have to step up. And so also then how do you support that person in stepping up so that you can, but not step up for them. And so I just gave an example with a friend of mine who's in the hospital, who she's learned to do that. And the first time she had to do it, I just stood there with her, my arm around her as she stood for herself, though, just to know that she could do it.
Thank you, Fred. Caroline?
I was unmuted because I was paired up with Aaron Kelly and we were talking. And my situation is very different because I'm much older than he is and I'm retired. So my division of labor these days at home is perfect. Rick does the things he's good at. I do the things I'm good at, and the rest we figure out somehow. But Aaron, being much younger, and he works with a environmental company in Canada, he had some really interesting things to say, and it looks like he's with a pretty evolved group of people. So I don't know if he wants to talk, but it was really different than my experience, and it was really nice.
Thanks, Carolyn. So to clarify, I work with an environmental organization, and we have just like a very diverse and good group of people who are all working together on the challenge to humanity of addressing our environmental crises.
If anybody's got their phone and you want to click a picture of the slide with the questions, that will probably help us along. And so hold on one second here, and I will share this on the screen. Moni, you're setting up the rooms for us to do.
Yep. We're going to have 10 minutes to review those questions, and we'll be back and listen to each other.
Okay, so Moni, 10 minutes for these questions might not be enough. They might need a few more, but you got to do it as quickly as you can. If you guys believe that this concept of two wings, and one of the things we call attention to in the book is that the two wings isn't just about men and women. The two wings is about the masculine and feminine energies that are inside every human being. And Mónica made a comment earlier about the soul has no gender. Every human soul has the ability to manifest both what is masculine and feminine. And so if this concept resonates with you and you feel that it's beneficial to society, one of the things Mónica and I really want to do is go from insight to impact. And we need your help to help us identify where could the two wings message create the greatest impact. Think about organizations, communities, institutions, education, media, society at large. Who most needs this conversation, and where is the opportunity greatest? The second question is, who are the people or organizations that could help us amplify the two wings message? And here again, what champions, networks, leaders, companies, universities, associations, or movements could help carry the message beyond our immediate community? And then the last question, how could we make the two wings message relevant and accessible to them? So if you can take a picture of this slide on your phone, Monica's going to send you guys away for about 10 minutes. And then when we come back, we want to hear from every group that is possible. Fair enough?
Great. And just because you can see that I'm very obedient and I'm listening to your request, I'm going to give them 11 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll be there in your groups.
You're being recorded. Did you know that?
Okay, so we're going to go by room, by groups. 6, 4, 5. Can you put the questions on the screen so we can, as we share, please? Welcome back, everybody. Good to see you smiling and having fun. Great. So we're gonna go by groups, and then you can choose who's gonna be the speaker to summarize these questions that you reflect together, please. And for us, it's very relevant, all your feedbacks and comments. So We will also to encourage you, I'm going to put on the chat our emails. If you like to keep in touch or send us more information, even talk more about this together, it'll be wonderful. So in room number 1, we have Irandir, Jordana, parents meeting, that's the name that I have, Sandy and Tracy. Who would like to speak for that group and give us your insightful conversations? It's going to be 2 minutes by group because we know maybe you have another activities after this. So our goal is to finish in 9 minutes.
Well, we had a very loquacious group. As long as no one's speaking up, I'll do my best to represent everybody, and I'm watching the clock.
Thank you.
We started with education and recognizing that education reaches a broad spectrum, a world of worldviews, of demographics, including ages 18 to I think it was 52. Is that right, Jordana? And so it's a great opportunity from the top of the classroom, to impress upon everybody, a captured audience, if you will, this information at the learning level. My personal perspective was it has to start in the heart and we have to live it, because I've been at the cultural grassroots level for 25 years and seeing how you come in with a heart to social impact project that falls apart if it's not constantly kept going, because there is that turnaround. And then we were brought together with the concept, well, it has to be both and. It has to be both and. And so that was really beautiful. Also recognizing the importance of that education starting at home, and also at the little's age, at the young age, find a way to find the language that we can bring the concept of recognizing those divine feminine, divine masculine qualities, not necessarily male and female, because once we address the male female, the divine masculine, divine feminine, make that distinction when they're little, it'll ripple. They won't need to be reminded as a boy or a girl how to treat one another, because this is who they are in balance with everybody else. So I hope I did you all justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. And did you have any specific recommendations? Where can we?
Maybe Jordana or others could, because if you have an agent, your book agent can get you into those places. I can help. I'll contact you with your email address. I have some connections in different places too.
Thank you so much.
Venues.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, and grab an applause for this group. So in room 2, we have Aru, and then Sandy and Sherry. Who would like to share, please? Don't be shy.
Well, I'll start out, and maybe someone else will want to join me.
Okay.
So where could the message create the greatest impact? Well, we believe the family, something that we all have some agency in, and raising the children is gives that understanding to the next generation. But we feel like it's so much needed everywhere throughout society. It's really like a universal need. And in terms of the people or organizations that could help amplify it, we think faith groups could do it. We think ourselves, we all need to be protagonists in bringing cultural and social change. We feel that there's maybe the greatest need in those institutions which tend to influence the most. So we're talking about governance, whether it's local or regional or national, definitely needs to have this balance of qualities in leadership, and corporations as well is a critical area. How could we make them relevant and accessible? Would somebody else like to pick up on that?
I'll take that. I was essentially saying that we make it relevant and accessible by becoming advocates as individuals to create groups that to grow organic communities that are constantly reaching out and to whoever is available, whoever's open to the message. Like, for example, going to we do environment as our particular advocacy at this point, and we go all over the city to every little farmers market, community booths, and we pass out literature both about our religion as well as about bringing spiritual values to that particular challenge to humanity. And that's, this is another overarching challenge to humanity, that this kind of format for just being out there raising awareness and receiving those who are open to join an advocacy role in the process.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for so eloquently stating all of our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the next room we have Aaron, Fred, and Reverendo Abigail.
So I'm assuming I'm talking since I took notes.
And Carolyn, she was in there too.
And Carolyn, yes. And Carolyn was in the group too, yes.
So a children's version of the book was one recommendation. And also creating an online gaming presence was another recommendation. Much of the other things have really been talked about, but one specific was raising this at the Harmony Breakfast, looking at community organizations and how we engage in the community organizations, and also to have it as a development for in hospitals when they have new parents, as a part of training and preparation for new parents.
Wow.
Well, that's, I think, the ones that we pretty much covered.
Thanks,
you very much. That was good.
Yeah. Great suggestion. Thank you very much, Fred. Very creative feedbacks and ideas you guys given us. So thank you. We're very thankful for this space. And in the room number 4, we have Aaron, Irene, and Rick, and Dr. Steve. Who would like to share with us?
Maybe I start with my point of view and then maybe somebody can continue. So for me, I think I'm a very practical person. So I think that for first we must change thinking of people, So we have a lot of possibilities how to spread this idea. So for me, on first place, we must talk about it in medias, on social website, on everywhere. So until people, because the old way of thinking is incompatible with this quote, about 2 wings. So for first, people need to hear about it, and even more and more they will hear about it. Maybe they're thinking, so for sure, their thinking will change, but for first, they need to hear and listen. So that's my point. So talk about it everywhere.
Great. Thank you, Irene. Any other comment from that group?
Sure. We had 3 points that we talked about. One was figuring out how we should integrate with one another. And another point was we need to be sure to clarify what we mean, have a clarity of understanding. And the third point was to take actual action, hook up with those who are doing things and make connections with them. And deeds, not words, is a wonderful way of attracting people and showing them both your point of view and your message. People are more attracted to action than they are simply words.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Charles?
Well, I think there's one real simple way of helping our communication. Did we lose you?
No, we're still here. I'm sorry,
Oh, okay.
I just projected on the screen, but go ahead, Dr. Steve, your
Yeah,
comments.
the real simple thing to do is to pretend you do not have good hearing aids. And when somebody tells you to do something, repeat back to them, did you ask me to go and open the door? And then you clarify that communication, because you'll get feedback from the other person. It says, no, I wanted you to fix the door. Aha, then communication can begin. No male, no female, just making sure you understand what the issues are.
Okay.
That's it.
Definitely. Thank you very much. You know, there's always communications, when we try to communicate more and understand, as you said, you know, and correct or make sure that we understood or we listened what we wanted to. It's a great space. We always said that in communication, we need to multiply it by 10. So we need to communicate more and better, and that will be fantastic. Thank you very much. We would love to keep in touch with you. We just put the note of our landing page, and then Charles is going to invite us to our community. If you'd like to be part of our community, once a month we go in deep and talk about these different topics and then apply new tools. So that'll be fantastic. And then just would like to thank you all for being here today, and let's find a way to keep in touch. Charlie?
So here's a final reflection, closing reflection and call to action for you guys. And just a final comment on my part. The leadership the world needs is not stronger one-sided leadership, more masculine, or it needs to be well-rounded. And this is why we focus so much on the concept of the two wings, not only representing men and women, but the two wings being inside every human being, because there's stories in the book about how the masculine and the feminine comes out. And there's a story that I tell about my daughter Jasmine when she was 12 years old, giving me a command that I could not refuse. I had to listen to her command, but it was her protecting me. And my masculine response to the situation was completely dangerous for the world and for me. And my daughter, 12-year-old daughter, gave a masculine response that showed me that men and women have a masculine and feminine side, but they're different. And the world needs the balance of that difference. And so when we develop both wings, balance, ethics, and purpose, we not only lead better, we enable organizations and society to truly soar and soar to its highest heights. Now, I've had the blessing of having had 5 older sisters and a mother who raised me. And so it became clear when I got into the world that the feminine leadership qualities that I was raised with were not valued in the same way as the masculine ones that I was raised with. And so it took me a long time to come to that understanding in a way that I could articulate it to the greater society. But this whole concept gives us men an opportunity to grow and be our full selves. And it gives women also the opportunity to grow and be valued and respected as their authentic selves. Because many women have had to be accepted in corporations, to be accepted in the corporate world. they've had to assume masculine postures to succeed. And the book really outlines the importance of women being women and men being men, and both of them integrating the masculine and feminine that is inside of them. So this is a QR code. If you want to learn anything more about this particular book, it takes you to the book landing page, and there's a whole bunch of other resources available at this landing page. You can join the online community that Monica was talking about. We have a LinkedIn community. You can read different articles. You can get in touch with Monica and I in our individual businesses. But we just hope that this is just the beginning of us getting to know each other and having meaningful conversations about this topic. We want to really thank all of you for being a part of this evening, and we know that you will be a part of taking this positive message forward. Do we have time for
Rose,
a
can we take a
comment?
picture of all of us together?
Yes, I have
Before we
taken
leave?
3. I've taken 3, but
Okay.
some of you may have had your eyes closed. So if we
Okay.
take a
Make
conscious
sure.
one now, let's take
There
a
we go.
conscious couple of pictures where everybody's able to smile and show their best self.
Great. Mhm.
I appreciate what you've done and how you step forward with your honesty and what you've done to bring all of us together and hopefully the rest of the world.
Mm.
Thank you, Jordana.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Just excellent presentation. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Let's keep in touch. We would love to hear from you and keep in touch in the community.
If
Thank you.
if
Thank you.
anybody
Obrigado.
if anybody wants to make a comment, you're welcome to make a comment. We just wanted to respect the time if somebody needs to get to another session.
I don't know how, but I lost everybody's photo.
We can still hear you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Welcome,
You know,
Jordana.
I'm very kind of smart, but I'm not good on the virtual reality.
Mhm.
It's all right. It's generational. I just get my kids to do everything online for me these days. So don't worry, Jordana.
Thank you.
Charles,
Thanks,
Tracy tell you that she's perfect.
Just know that your words are so powerful, and our society has been governed by different words and how to use them, whether they be masculine or feminine. And it's so wonderful that you've written your book about how to use words and how to make them powerful.
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you that this is my first presentation when you just forced me to be active like this, and it connected us. It's a really good vision to the future, you know. So thank you. You are really, really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing, being honest with all of us. So that's so nice. That's what we need the most, being more vulnerable in ourselves so we can engage with everybody, huh? So thank you.
I just want to say to Monica, I bring your example to my English class, and it generates a beautiful discussion about you refuse you assign this project. And it was amazing discussion about keeping ethical values. It generates a beautiful reflection. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. We love to hear all those beautiful stories and share. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
You give us energy and give us energy to keep going.
Yeah. I was, everybody has to bring a story to discussion, and I bring your story.
Oh,
it was amazing.
Thank you so much, hearing this.
I think this concept should be present at schools. My experience in Brussels, I work with children and from different nationalities, different cultures, And so and sometimes it's so different behaviors between girls and boys, and how to, it is challenging how to teach the boys to respect the girls, to give them the same rights. And so I apply this principle to wings of leadership. To talk with children and to talk with elders also.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you know what? I encourage you all to help us and be the ambassadors for this movement, that we can all be able to open our hearts and talk and being able to catalyze these spaces. So thanks for sharing, Sharon, dear.
Maybe this idea should be presented at schools, and another version, not a version for children.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
a great idea.
Okay.
This is my experience.
Thank you.
I want to share.
Thank you.
Absolutely, because I think when children listen this principle, that's the key. That's
Yeah, it is the base, yeah. It is the basis. It's the simple, but it's the first level. The first level, it is the base. If the children develop this base for adults, yeah.
Fantastic.
Fred, Irene, Iranjir, Fred, if you want to say anything, Carolyn, if you want to say anything, you guys are welcome.
Just thank you. It was interesting. I got to spend a little time with Aru. I see occasionally on the Zoom with Irene.
Good. It was great to see you again, Fred. I love you. I love your family. And it's been a long time.
It has been, but
I just wanted to ask you too, did you look at your back if your wings, because you do so perfect job like angels, so look at your back, if maybe there are some.
You're so kind.
No, it's true, it's true. Because a lot of people spend time with so stupid thing, and you are doing brilliant job.
Oh, thank you so much, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn, I want to thank you. Carolyn, I want to thank you for all you sent out so many invitations, and I guarantee you that most of the people here were from your invitations. So thank you for being this master networker for us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, dear. Measures for you and hugs and love for everybody. And then let's keep find another space to be again and talking in other ways. So thank you so much, everybody.
We will. Thank you for coming and doing our great presentation.
Thank you, dear.
Have a great day.
I thank you all for your precious time.